Should have known this would happen at some point, but apparently I kicked up a hornet's nest among some locals with one of my latest reviews. So much so that the owner actually ran a promotion just to try and prove me wrong. And my response to that is, cool, I hope it worked. In fact, I hope my review was wrong because I don't wish genuine ill towards any restaurant owner. These reviews are just accounts and impressions from my experience as a complete and total dumbass who also worked in restaurants for half his life. So to the people who came out swinging for him, I'm glad to see you supporting a local business. And to Double D's, I wish you nothing but the best. And I'll be sure to include you when I do a redemption video for all the restaurants in the area that have taken a big fat shit on. But don't get your hopes up, Verona, you piece of shit. Anyways, let's do this shit. Little Italy is one of several pasta food trucks in the area, and that is a statement I can't even believe I just made. I have an extreme passion for Italian food, and I can't think of anything I would like to eat out of a takeout container from a truck less than pasta. Pasta was made to be enjoyed with family and friends around a dinner table or in a restaurant. Not in your office at the Kia dealership, Tim, you piece of shit. Did you think I forgot about the undercoating on my Sorrento? Anyway, I ordered from Little Italy, an Italian food truck. Ugh, I'm still not used to saying that. And got their picante pasta. Now, I was jazzed to the tits for this because most of the Italian food in Arkansas consists of one page from the Olive Garden menu. You know, spaghetti, Alfredo, Parmesan, and nothing else. It's basic to the point that I imagine if you showed them a saltimbocca, a marsala sauce, or even just linguine and clams, their fucking heads would explode. So I was excited to get something outside of that very basic framework. Unfortunately, yeah, this is just a slightly creamy tomato sauce. Granted, it tasted like effort went into making it, and I don't think it came straight out of a jar, but it was still well shy of most good Italian restaurants. But what made it truly baffling was that, well, the dish was called pasta picante. Whether it's Spanish or Italian, picante means spicy, right? This wasn't spicy at all, though it did come with a little packet of red pepper flakes. So, was I supposed to make it spicy? If so, no, and also fuck you. I'm paying you to prepare me food, not make it myself, like I ordered it from the sponsor of today's video, But before you think I'm just going to needlessly shit on another Italian restaurant in Arkansas, there's a twist ending, because my order came with some okay bread and some otherworldly garlic butter. Now, if you don't know, the reason why every Italian restaurant in the world has this bread is because it is made to sop up the extra sauce on your plate. But this garlic butter was so good that it created a dilemma as I ate, because instinct and memory told me to sop up the pasta sauce, but that would mean wasting this incredible garlic butter, and the garlic butter won out. I'm not even joking when I say I would get this again just for that. And while I would suggest Little Italy turn up the volume on seasoning in a big way, overall they get a high 5 out of 10, which is as high as Italian food goes in Arkansas. Chicken Express is a regional fast food fried chicken chain that I had never heard of in my goddamn life. Now, regional food chains can be absolutely magical, but usually when that happens, you at least hear rumblings of their greatness before you encounter them. So I wasn't going in with any high hopes, but I gave them a look and saw that they have a fried livers and gizzards combo, and seeing that made me feel like I had actually wandered into an alien world. Because Chicken Express is a fairly large company with more than 200 locations, and there are somehow enough people out there ordering fried livers and gizzards to have it on all of their menus. Where the fuck am I? I got a 2-piece meal, and now would be a good time to point out that if you don't ask for dark meat in this spot, you're probably eligible to start collecting disability. I also got fries and fried jalapeno poppers because fuck my heart, and damn, if you're just gonna let me get jalapeno poppers as a side, why not? One of the recurring food complaints I have here in the South is that a lot of the food isn't seasoned enough, but these were some of the most perfectly seasoned fries I've ever had. Granted, I could have just gotten lucky with who was working, in which case, good shit, Enrique. Now, jalapeno poppers are always a major gamble for me, because I don't know what I'm gonna get when I bite into one. If it's cheddar, it's usually fucking awesome, but if it's cream cheese, I will vomit, piss, and shit all over myself with disgust. I took a bite though because I am that much of a hero, and luckily it was cheddar, but it still wasn't great. It was made with pickled jalapenos, which they usually are, but the pickling juice was all that I tasted. It even overpowered the taste of cheese, so not great. But what about the fried chicken, I hear you asking, as you like and subscribe and call me a stupid asshole in the comments while saying unflattering things about my mother? Well, asshole, it was I mean, I guess it was fried chicken. It was chicken and it was fried, and that's about all I can say about it. They definitely didn't brine it, marinate it, and I don't think they even seasoned the flour. It tasted like unseasoned chicken, that's it. The best way I can describe it is that if you normally eat fried chicken with a bottle of your favorite hot sauce in hand, this will get the job done. It's probably one of the most unseasoned fried chickens I've ever had, including KFC, but unlike KFC, it was served fresh. So if you're just looking for reasonably priced fried chicken to dab hot sauce on, this'll do. Not setting the world on fire, but certainly not a ripoff, just a 5 out of 10 chicken joint. And speaking of chain restaurants I've never even fucking heard of before, Marco's Pizza apparently has more than 1,200 locations, so I don't know how they've all missed me. But as you know, my general impression of chain pizza is that it's all shit, so who gives a fuck? Well, I gave Marco's a shot, and I gotta say, I was impressed. Not impressed compared to actual pizza, but impressed for a pizza chain. It had many of the same problems you see with chain pizza. The sauce was wildly underseasoned and barely tasted like anything, but the crust was surprisingly good and well flavored and had a decent texture. With chain pizza, I won't even bother eating my crust, so if I actually eat them, it's a sign of quality. There was also decent cheese and quality pepperoni. Again, for a chain pizza. The price was a couple dollars more than Domino's or Poopy John's, but I gotta say, it was kinda worth it. And to qualify for the 11th time, I'm saying all this in the context of chain pizza, not pizza in general. But for what it is, Marco's seems to me to be a cut above their competitors. A low 6 out of 10. Okay, let me get my 1 out of 10 ready because I have had Jimmy John's 3 times before, and it has always been a downright abomination to the Italian hoagie. Well, I got it again, and yeah, it wasn't that bad. Maybe it's because I no longer have access to good hoagies. Maybe my time here in the South has lowered my standards for the greatness that only a truly authentic Italian hoagie can deliver. Fuck you, Arkansas! Anyway, James Jonas isn't terrible in the same way that Subway is, but what's frustrating is that it isn't what literally goes into the hoagie that makes it shit, but the amount of effort that goes into its construction. I took a bite of the sandwich that I refuse to call a hoagie and bit into one of the best tomatoes I've had in a minute. But what makes a hoagie great isn't just what it's made of, but how it's constructed. If toppings are just slapped down onto the bread, they aren't folded or layered with care, it's shit. And a sandwich from G. Joe Smith-Schuster could be run over by a truck and you wouldn't even notice. Like, come on, Jim Jom, I'm not packing your food into the overhead compartment. Put some care into this. Not that it would matter because the bread is nowhere near even beginning to approach the galaxy of a good Italian roll. In fact, I'd say it more closely resembles a pan cubano, but Jimothy Jonathanos isn't anywhere near as bad as I remember, but even that's still like a high 4 out of 10. Congratulations on not being as shit as Subway. Okay, look, dickhead, there's only so many restaurants in Conway. In fact, by my count, there's currently less than 50 that I haven't reviewed. What I'm saying is sometimes I'm going to need to pad this out. So I'm reviewing Taco Bell for a 3rd time because they currently have some kind of retro 90s menu, and it's pretty good. In fact, it's downright hilarious to me how putting a little bit of diced tomato on Taco Bell makes it taste about 8 times better than it otherwise would have. But the real reason I'm reviewing Taco Bell again is because I think I've experienced some sort of Bell renaissance. See, when I was in college, I lived in a shithole apartment in a shithole neighborhood of a shithole city in shithole Oregon. Yes, nature is beautiful, but what isn't beautiful is stepping over smackheads and used needles every single block. So I'm in college, working and going to school full time, broke as a joke and no time for anything. And the only places within a few blocks of my shithole apartment in a shithole neighborhood are 7-Eleven and Taco Bell. So this goes without saying, but after 4 years, the sight of a Taco Bell sent actual shivers down my spine. But just as the case for those smackheads and dope fiends I once stepped over, it's never too late to turn things around. And unbeknownst to me, Taco Bell at some point made a concerted effort to, well, do better. Be better. Because Taco Bell now has a ton of options I'd never even heard of, but have been around for years. Ever try the Fiesta potato tacos? Did you even know potatoes were an option? Well, I know I didn't, and apparently people everywhere have been finding all sorts of interesting hacks and menu items and even inventing new ones for themselves. And while I'm throwing away any credibility I had defending Taco Bell, there really isn't anything wrong with them or their meat. It's meat. In fact, not only is it meat, it's of a significantly higher quality than what's served in public school cafeterias. I'm serious, the FDA has much higher standards for what can be sold commercially than what is served to kids everywhere. Now, you might say, shit, haven't you talked all kinds of shit about tacos and now you're defending Taco Bell? And yeah, I guess I am. Because Taco Bell isn't out here in the streets charging people $15 for 3 tacos. So Taco Bell, which I've previously given, I don't really remember what I gave them, has risen in the landscape of fast food in my opinion. A 6 out of 10. Fuck you, what are you gonna do about it? That's gonna do it for this go around. Catch you in the next one, and I'll see you when I see you.